Well, good morning. It's another beautiful winter morning here in Minnesota. I just wanted to start. I thought it was neat. The old boy, George the Ram here, is taking his leisure. He was gimping around pretty good yesterday after the excitement we had with. I don't know for sure if they were coyotes, but I think it was. My neighbor saw them at length on his farm. It has been brutally cold, and the snow has covered up the field, so they might just be getting quite hungry. But he doesn't seem worse for the wear overall, and I expect him to recover. He's a good-looking guy. But as you can see, there's a bunch of hay and clumps. This is stuff I'm starting to spread out. This is from that bale that had a little bit of mold in it, in the core of it, and so they definitely picked through it, and this is what's left. And I'm not going to make them eat this. They can lay on it if they like, or if they want to pick through it, they can. But you can see this is my old girl right here. It's like she's looking at the bales saying, come on, get a move on, open up one of those bales. So we're going to do that. But I noticed just in one day, remember I had bought that protein lick tub and they hadn't really touched it because the hay wasn't top bill quality. And today they were all on it. So that bale was not what we were kind of looking for, which is all right. It's going to happen from time to time. So we're going to crack open another bale and get them some feed. And I have this patch here that I'm going to probably just throw some hay out on. And I'm going to let the dogs out and keep training on them a little bit. But, there's nothing new happening. It's all repetition and iteration. We're just trying to continue to progress the flock forward, progress the dogs forward, keep everyone safe, and arrive in the best condition possible at the critical time, which would be, May. Well, it looks like those two are fighting it out. Those are two ewes. I don't know what their deal is, but I guess that spotted one just won. The white one knocked. Oh, now we got a new challenger. But yeah, we want to arrive at the critical time, which is lambing in May, and so in the best condition possible. So I'm going to fork out this old hay. I'm going to feed some new hay, and then I'm going to go make sure the dog feeder is full, and we will get after it. So nothing exciting today, I expect. Just, the same thing. This is all, success is probably found in the repetition, not so much in the novelty. There are a few unique things that I'm looking forward to in the spring, like we're going to continue to fence and build up that old dairy field at Doug's house. I think that will be very interesting to watch that go through its first year of recovery. We had a similar type of knackered out field at our farm, but it was before I started doing these kind of video journals and documenting, so I have no way of showing the before and after. But so I think that'll be very interesting to continue that work out at Doug's, and we'll have lambing, which will be exciting, and calving, and we will be bringing in. I'll probably have some video of our family food production, I would call it. So this is the sheep are what we're going to try to make money on, but this year we'll be raising some pigs for our consumption, and we'll be raising turkeys for Thanksgiving, and chickens for our consumption, and more egg layers, because we go in waves on egg layers, and sometimes they get old and you have to cycle them out. So those will turn into soup chickens. And I wonder what she's looking at. She's a good ewe. I wish I could have 20 like her. I'm sure I do, but she's so reliable and she's pretty. She's friendly and curious and clever, and she likes, she thrives in the program we do here. But anyhow, I'm gonna get to work. These guys are they're used. The routine is that I come out and they get food, and now I'm sitting here jabbering, and so I think they're likely to get a little anxious here. So we're gonna go get some hay done and carry on the way. I'll See you later. Great, well, I just broke the ice on the dog's water. It kind of iced over, so now they're all getting a drink. I just leave a bucket there, so I basically just take some water out of the stock tanks over there and bring it over here for them to have a drink. And there's their dog feeder over there, and they're just living in what's left of this set of hay bales here. So we're gonna I'm gonna probably go in and get a cup of coffee, and then I'll come out and work with the dogs a little bit once it's warmed up a bit. It's still in the 20s, and I guess I'm getting soft. But the animals are behind those bales. I fed a third of a bale on the other side, so they're over there, and that you can maybe you can see the bale I opened. Excuse me, I'm gonna try to zoom in. Oh, I did something. Hang on. You see how green it is? That they're all. I mean, they are all over it after kind of picking through that one bale that went kind of sour on us. So I kind of forked out some of this hay, and I'm just going to rely on the animals to kind of spread it out and trample it and pick it through, and we'll go from there. So the dogs are all looking good and happy, aren't you guys? Yeah. Are you guys good dogs? Isn't it amazing how big that Karakachen is compared to the old girl? She's a Pyrenees and Maremma. He's 6 months old, and he's a monster. I mean, look at him. He's already as big as her, and he's twice as thick, I'd say. What a beast. You're still a good dog, aren't you, puppers? So, in case you're wondering what these are GPS collars. I think I've said that before. It just gives me a way to track them down if they go crazy while I'm training them. So I don't want them to get out on the road, and I want to be able to find them. If they do things a little different than I'd like and get away from me. But we're gonna feed them some dog food. I got that 5-gallon pail is full of dog food, so we'll top up the dog feeder, and then I'm gonna go have a coffee, and then we'll get into some more dog work. All right. I've been watching this big ram. Since we had those, and I'm assuming they're coyotes. I don't actually know for sure, but since we had that predator pressure, he's had quite a limp. He's got no bite or bleeding, so I'm kind of wondering if in the excitement he got kicked in the leg by a cow or something, or he came down on it wrong or something of the sort. Anyhow, and to me, this is a time to reflect on listening to people who have done it and made money on it, because I only have 30 some ewes in here, and so I was originally going to just keep him, keep one ram. And I listened to Greg Judy on one of his videos when he was putting his rams out, and he said, even if it doesn't hurt to have more power. Ram power is what he always says. And I've watched him this morning, and he's tried to mount, and he can't quite get it done because of this hurt leg. And so that's going to put a crimp in my style for the few remaining lambs to be bred. Except for we have the young guy. Where is he? I gotta find him. Let's find the young ram. I don't know where he is. Oh, there he is, right in front of me. I'm staring at him. So he can come and pick up the slack if the old guy can't get it done. So you can figure as best you like and do your best with all of it, but in the end, my experience has been to take advice and seek out the advice from older fellas. I'm not saying, Greg's a little old, but I do that with Doug. I do that with my dad. Anything I want to get good at, I go and look at somebody I know who's done it well and is accomplished at it for a long time, rather than listen to some Yahoo my age. who might not have made all the mistakes yet. And I'd love to borrow other people's mistakes. I would much prefer to learn things the easy way. I've learned a lot of things the hard way in my day. I don't need to add more to it. So I'm happy to learn from other people's mistakes. And that's part of the reason I like having, I like to watch George Heller's videos, or there's a fella I just started looking at, I can't remember his name. He's from Ireland. He was just talking about, finding the right management balance with mud. And that'll be something I'll think back on, the trouble he had and what he learned from that when we get to spring, because that will be our spring, is wet and mud, and how do we manage for that appropriately. So anyhow, that's been my major reflection for the day, is learning from other people's mistakes and taking the advice from people who are accomplished and not from people who are flashy. I started out, when I started farming, I watched a fair number of these bigger farming YouTube people, and I just realized they weren't making a living on it. They were making a living on YouTube, and or their marketing schemes or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not a place to learn how to do this properly. And so, it's just, I kind of got away from listening and watching them, and instead spent time seeking out, I guess, the guys, like I said, who have done it for a living and not just are showing off. But anyway, we're getting prepped for some nasty weather. We had a little bit of freezing rain, as you can see from the trees, last night, but we're really going to get it here now, as we head towards this next storm coming in. It's going to be a mixture of snow and rain, which is always hard on the animals, but I'm going to keep them topped up with feed. They have mineral, they have clean water, they have trees they can get underneath, and they're tough animals. They'll make it through. With that kind of preparation, I'm not worried about it at all. But all right.